Shalom Israel, giving honor and praise to the Most High God for the reading and the understanding of His Word. And family, I want to welcome every last one of you back, and hopefully there will not be any interruptions this week. You know, unfortunately, these are things that we have to deal with when we are coming out with the truth. They are going to continue to have these buffering sessions. And I want y'all to think about this here for a second. Right now, there is somebody at YouTube watching right now to make sure that I don't say anything that is going to piss everybody else off. And that's why they keep doing what they're doing. But like I said before, in order to get rid of me, you're going to have to kill me. I've accepted my fate already. I already have. So every week, I am going to continue to bring out the truth. And if you don't like it, then too bad. That's how I see it. And that's the end of that. And family, of course, y'all already know this is my favorite time of the week. So I seriously, humbly, I want to say thank you. And I want to address you, the royal family, by saying this. I want to wish every king, every queen, every prince, and every princess, I want to wish you a wonderful, magnificent Sabbath. And once again, thank you for bringing this in with your brother this week. And I tell you right now, I'm going to bawl. The day that I can no longer say that to my family is going to be a very horrible, horrible day. But I tell you this, though, when I am able to again, which I will be, I'm going to be the happiest man in the world. Now, I want to show y'all something. Y'all see these two things, right? Y'all know what these are. They're bottles, right? Plastic bottles. Identical. But I have a mission here tonight. By the end of this lesson, these two bottles right here, you will never, ever forget ever again. Okay? So we're going to save these here for the end. So now, family, tonight, what are we going to be talking about? We are going to have discussion. All right? Now, of course, yes, there's always going to be a lesson. But tonight's one of those nights where we really, really have to dig deep. And we are going to be talking about some things. As a matter of fact, we're going to be talking about you. That's what we're going to be talking about. Tonight, you are the primary focus. And why are we talking about this? Because a lot of our people, a lot of you still are having issues with who you are, what your powers are. And you know what it's causing you to do? By you not knowing, it is causing you to be someone else that you are not. It is causing you to be someone that you were never built to be. You were built for a particular purpose. Number one, that purpose is to serve the Most High. And He gave you a power. But because you are unaware, because you are ignorant to a lot of things, you have no idea of who you are. So tonight, after tonight, you're going to know exactly who you are and what your strengths are and the nonsense that you have to get rid of in your life. So I'm telling you, if you are a person that is not going to pay attention, if you are a person that just has this on in the background as noise, go away. Choose a different noise. Because tonight I want everybody's ears circumcised and tuned in to everything that has to be said here tonight. All right, so family, please open your Bibles to the 1611 King James Version Bible with the Apocrypha. And family, we are going to start at John chapter 8, the book of John, not 1 John, not 2 John, the book of John, the regular John, chapter 8. And we're going to go down to verse 26. We're going to open it up with this. The book of John chapter 8 and verse 26. We're going to read it down a little bit, okay? And here it is. This is Christ talking. This is Yahushua speaking. I have many things to say and to judge of you, but He that sent me is true, and I speak to the world. And I want you to remember that right there. I speak to the world those things which I have heard of Him. So He's saying, I'm going to talk to the world. Now, many of us already know what that is, but we are going to summarize this here. So again, keep your thoughts right where they belong. Verse 27. They understood not that he spake to them of the Father. So the disciples are like, hold on a second. Who is he talking about? Him. And Christ is talking about the Father told him things that he is going to address to all of us. Verse 28. Then said Jesus unto them, when ye have lifted up the Son of Man, speaking of himself, then shall ye know that I am he. Who's he? The salvation of Israel. And that I do nothing of myself, but as my Father hath taught me, I speak these things. So he's saying, I did not come here to do my own will. I did not come here to get rid of any laws. I didn't come here to do what I wanted to do. I came here for what the Father told me I'm going to do. Verse 29. And he that sent me is with me. That's a very profound statement. He that sent me is with me, meaning he's right there with him. And that's going to mean a lot here tonight. The Father hath not left me alone, for I do always those things that please him. Do y'all understand what Christ is saying? He says, I do the things that the Father told me to do. He sent me on a mission. I'm going to carry out his mission. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what he thinks. Verse 30. As he spake these words, many believed on him. Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him. Stop. So now this goes back to the world, remember? Remember when Christ said, I came here to speak to the world. To the world. Not the entire planet, but that world. So now what we're going to have to do, we need to go to Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 17. Let's go there, please. The book of Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 17. Now, many of you may already know this, but there are our new family members that may not know. Okay, so let's see. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. That's speaking to Israel. That's Old Testament. And so now we're going to go right back to the New Testament. So let's go right back to John chapter 8, go down to verse 30. John chapter 8, we're going to go right back here to verse 30. I'm going to read this here one more time. As he spake these words, many believed on him. Who's that many? That's Israel. Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. That's heavy. When Christ said, all you have to do is believe on the word. Remember, Christ is the word. Christ is everything that we read in this book. He's the word. Verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Now, we've heard that all throughout Christianity. We've heard it throughout Catholicism, so many different false, bogus religions. But we had no idea that that statement is pertaining to the Jews only, according to the scriptures, not my own personal belief, not my opinion, what the book says. And I truly hope that each and every last one of you have your books open, reading along with me. I'm going to read 32 one more time. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And that's what we are living in right now. We're living in the truth. Those of us that are keeping the Most High's commandments, those of us that are plastered in these scriptures, we know the truth. We know that we are the Israelites. We know what we have to do, and we know what we have to teach our people to do as well. But remember, you are an Israelite. You are special on this planet. Okay? Now that was that. Now, let's go to the book of Proverbs chapter 3. The book of Proverbs chapter 3, and I want us to go down to verse 5. The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Now, I want everybody to truly pay attention to what the Most High is bringing down to us. This is where the listening comes in. This is the truth. The truth. You have to hear the truth in order to apply the truth into your life. You have to hear it. Okay? Circumcised ears. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. He made this very clear. Don't you dare try to understand where I'm coming from. The Father made it clear. Do not lean on your own understanding. And we're going to get into that. I don't want to jump ahead. Verse 6. In all thy ways acknowledge him. Don't acknowledge yourself. Do not acknowledge your therapist. Do not acknowledge your best friend that's giving you all that wrong advice. And that's not in the truth. Many of you, I know. Him. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. This is the biggest mistake that many of us make, because we try to do things on our own. We try to do things based on our own understanding, based on our own knowledge, and we get away from the instructions that's right here inside of our book and try to do things on ourselves, by ourselves. And you know what happened? We fail miserably. Miserably. We fail upon fail upon fail, and then we cry. And then at that point is when we go to the Most High, knowing that we should have went to him first. First and only. But we don't do that, because Christianity taught us to do things on our own. The Father did not say that. The Father said, in all thy ways, acknowledge him. Okay? All right. So now let's go to Psalms chapter 32. The book of Psalms chapter 32. And let's go down to verse 8. The book of Psalms chapter 32, verse 8. Let's see what this says. Watch. Now remember what we just read. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee with mine eye. Do y'all understand that? Now, what did we just read? What did we just read in Proverbs 3 and 5? Do not lean on your own understanding. Do not make your own path. Follow me. Follow my instructions. So let's read this one more time. Verse 8. I will instruct thee. I'm going to instruct you and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go, in the way that you are supposed to go. I will guide thee with mine eye. So that's a very, very heavy one right there, because the Father is saying, I'm watching you. I'm watching what you do. My eyes are on everything. So I'm going to see if you are going to acknowledge me or if you're going to do things on your own. If you do things on your own, it's an absolute failure. 100% failure. But if you do everything that I tell you to do, it is an automatic win. It is an automatic success. All you have to do is do what he says, not you, what he says. Okay? So now I want to go to the book of John, chapter 16. The book of John, chapter 16, and go down to verse 13, please. The book of John, chapter 16 and verse 13. Family, watch this. Howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth. Now remember, we talked about truth already just in this lesson. Howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. The Spirit of truth will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will shew you things to come. So again, it's about that pathway. Acknowledge him in all thy ways. I will instruct thee and teach thee. And just to read this one more time. Howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. That's a promise. So you mean to tell me if I stick on this path right here, this one right here, that the Father's he's going to unveil all truth to me? That's what the word says. You can see somebody coming with their BS when you are on this side. You can see somebody that's coming to ruin your life, but you have to be on this side. You gotta be right here. You gotta be right here on this side here. Following his instructions. Submitting yourself to the Most High. And how do you do that? By keeping his commandments. Not doing your own thing over here. Not being this weak link over here, but being this absolutely strong, powerful one right here. That's male and female. Okay? Now, let's go to the book of Psalms. And as y'all can see, I'm going Old Testament, New Testament, Old Testament, New Testament. The Old Testament is the New Testament concealed, and the New Testament is the Old Testament revealed. I cannot stress that enough. All right, so now we're going to go to the book of Psalms, chapter 25. The book of Psalms, chapter 25, and now I want us to go down to verse 4. The book of Psalms, chapter 25, we're going to start at verse 4. Here we go. Shew me thy ways, O Lord. Teach me thy paths. It doesn't matter where you go in the book. It's going to all say the same thing. I do this all the time. Verse 5. Lead me in thy truth. I'm saying it again. And teach me, for thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day. Okay. So our forefathers and foremothers that were in this truth, they understood this. They got it. They got it clear. They got it plain and simple. They got it. Do what the Most High says. Follow what the Father says. Listen to the brothers and the sisters that's bringing out this truth. That's what it says. You're a winner right here, but you are a loser, a big, fat, stinking loser on this side right here. Okay? I'm going to read this one more time. Shew me thy ways, O Lord. Teach me thy paths. Lead me in thy truth and teach me. For thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day. You don't do your own thing. You don't branch off and go do what you want to do. You do what the Father tells you to do. And believe it or not, some people, they can't do it. They have tried and tried and tried. They have heard this word. They have heard you bring out the truth. You have told them over dinner. You've done so many things, but this person that you may be talking to is just not getting it. And we're going to get more into that. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, so now I want us to go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 19. The book of Proverbs, chapter 19. Let's go down to verse 21, please. The book of Proverbs, chapter 19 and verse 21. And you're going to see that all of these things are in unison with each other. All the scriptures that we bring out. Watch this. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. Now, why did I bring that one out? Okay. Remember everything that we just talked about? Following the path of the Most High, right? Leaning not on your own understanding. But the Father's also telling you over here on this side right here, right? That a man has many devices. You know what devices are? Weapons. Snares, traps. To remove you from the path that you're supposed to be on, which is one right here, this narrow path. And all the other devices of men have this nice, big, broad path right here that everybody else is on. Moving, top speed, no traffic. Just boom, 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 going. But this narrow one right here, this is a tight fit for us to be walking. But guess what we're doing? We're all following the leader, which is Christ in this one. This one over here has no leader. And it's leading them right to death. Death by fire. Okay? I'm going to read that one more time. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, the instruction of the Lord, that shall stand. That's never going anywhere. Never, because it can't. Okay? That was set before the foundations of the earth was set, was the Most High's ways. Nothing about it is going to change ever. Okay? So now, let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 14, please. The book of Isaiah chapter 14. And we're going to be in Isaiah for a little bit today, too. I'm going to tell you that right now. So you may want to keep it bookmarked. The book of Isaiah chapter 14. Let's go down to verse 24. All right, let's see what this says. The Lord of hosts have sworn, saying, surely as I have thought. Pay attention. That's the word I want you to remember, the thought. Saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass. And as I have purpose, so shall it stand. Do y'all understand that? The Father says, if I thought it and I want it to happen, it's going to happen. There isn't anything, there's not a thing that you can do about it. Now, this is where we start to get into things. Because with the Most High, right? He already told us that he has fashioned us to carry out his will, his purpose. So a lot of times when the noose starts to get tight, a lot of times when we are starting to suffer tribulations, we are beginning to really ramp up in this world with trouble and turmoil. And that's when a lot of us start to cower. A lot of us start to complain, oh my God, I can't take it. Does that really happen amongst our people? Even those of us in this truth. We'll sit here. We'll talk about the truth all day long. We'll talk about how strong we are. We'll talk about how many people we have actually brought into the truth. You know, when people want to start gloating, which is a very, very dangerous thing. But as soon as then people start to buckle. And I'm not saying everybody. But some people start to buckle when that pressure is on. And at that point, they forget all about the Most High. All that's out the window because their comfort level has been disrupted. I'm telling you. Read this one more time. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 24. The Lord of hosts have sworn. That's so important. The Father said, I swear, I make the declaration. Saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass. So whatever I think is going to happen. And as I have purpose, so shall it stand. So there are things that was already set in motion for you to go through before you was even an afterthought. Things that the Father said, when I put this person on the planet here, my son, my daughter, when I put them in a position where I want them, this is going to happen to them, whether you like it or not. So there's no tears, no crying, no complaining. That's going to stop it. 99.9 does not pass your test. Only 100% does. So remember, you have two pathways. The pathway right here where the Father says, do as I instructed, or on this path right here, ignore me and die. All right. So now let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Let's go down to verse 13, please. Now remember what we just read. Remember it. Watch what the Father says. Watch this. It's beautiful. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. Now, we're going to go through this. We're going to break this down, okay? I'm going to make sure that you understand what this verse here says. I'm going to start from the beginning. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as in common to man. So, the Father said there's going to be things on this planet that's going to happen to you, but it's nothing that you have never known before. You have heard these things happen to people. Some things may have happened in your family, but it's going to happen to you, and you already know about these things. You have seen it before. Nothing's going to happen to you that has never happened to anyone else because it's common. But God is faithful. Is he not faithful to his word? Remember what he just said. If I think it, if it's my thought, it's going to happen. Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able? So the Father is making his promise here to you. He said, I'm not going to put you through anything that I know you are not able to deal with. So when you're going through these troubles, these turmoils, these tribulations, the Father said, I built you to be able to take care of this. I built you to be able to endure what I am getting ready to push you through. Why? Because you're my son or you're my daughter. I built you. I designed you. I know what you are able to withstand. I know, and I am going to put you through this because I want somebody else to see my work and my glory through you. But what do? We complain. Oh, God damn it. Oh, man, I can't believe I'm going through this. How can God let this happen to me? When yet the Father's like, nigga, I built you from ground up. I built you from the beginning. I designed you to be able to what I'm getting ready to put you through. But yet you acting like a little bitch. Yep. You can get mad at me if you want to. That's pretty much what it translates to. Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape that ye may be able to bear it. So the Father said, not only do I know you can endure it, but I'm going to have that route of escape for you so that you don't have to deal with it anymore. When I'm ready to let you out of it, you're out. That's a promise from the Most High. That's his promise right here. He said it, not me. But yet, there is something that these devils have always done to our people, going all the way back to the Garden of Eden. When the serpent was in the garden, what did he do? He planted something called doubt in Eve's mind. And it caused all of the chaos that's on the planet right now. That one seed of doubt planted created all this chaos. So when you doubt the Most High in your life, it is going to be nothing but chaos. Nothing but chaos. All right? That was that. Now, I want us to go, as a matter of fact, let's get some Apocrypha. I want you to go to Ecclesiasticus. The book of Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach. Let's go to chapter 2. And I want to start at verse 1. Being that we're speaking about temptation and all those different things, right? Let's see what it says. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Wow. The very same thing that we just read in 1 Corinthians. The very same thing. Chapter 10, verse 13. Verse 2. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. I'm going to read that one more time. Set thy heart aright. So right here, your heart. Remember, your heart, if you really following the Most High, it belongs to him. Everything that he told you to do, you got to do. Set thy heart aright and constantly, meaning never failing, endure and make not haste in time of trouble. Verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away. Stay in this lane right here, that thou mayest be increased, at thy last end. You know what that increase is? Your eternity. Verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Whatever happens to you, the things that the Most High said in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, all those temptations that he is going to put you through, all those things do cheerfully. Why? Because you have an audience. And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. He said, when the Father said, listen, You got a lot of y'all that are walking up here right now. You walking, you carefree, you cheerful, but I'm going to send something in your life that you're going to be able to endure, and I want somebody else to see it. You know what? I want Sheila right here to be able to see. I want this unbeliever right here named Sheila, and I'm sorry for anybody that's named Sheila and you are a believer. I'm not talking about you, but right here, we're going to use fictional Sheila right here. Fictional Sheila does not believe that the Most High can change her life. She doesn't believe. Let's say she's a Christian, right? But she doesn't believe this truth. And now here you go, right here. Here go this strong brother, this strong sister that fictional Sheila has her eyes on. And she's seeing you go through all these things. And the first question that she asks herself, why hasn't this person over here broken down? Why have they not broken down? Because they're obedient to what the word says. Watch this. I'm going to say it again. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. So even as they are going through everything, they're going through all the turmoil, they are going down just this rabbit hole of trouble. They still smiling. They still smiling. You can't even tell that they're going through anything. If they're fasting, they don't have their, faces all. When people fast and they tell you that they fasting, they ain't doing all that. Like, I'm going through days just like every day. And her faith is up there. Why? Because they know that they're being used. Verse 5. Pay very close attention to this. This is a seed that I'm dropping right now. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Now, we talked about this a couple of times just this month. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright. This lane right here. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy. Woo! And go not aside. You don't do your own thing. You don't go in this lane. You stay right here. You do what he says in this lane. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy and go not aside, lest ye fall. So he's saying, all right, guess what? If you going through this here, you fall, let's just say, hey, boom. You just happen to slip over here real fast, pick up, shake off, boom, back over here. Verse 8, ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. That is a promise. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Y'all see that, family? Y'all see what the Most High said? Everlasting joy and mercy. That's this lane over here. That's this one. This one is reserved for death. This lane right here is for the weak link. This right here is for the powerful. Now you got to ask yourself, which one are you? Are you the weak link? Or are you powerful? Which one are you? Gotta decide. You have to make that decision in your life. And you know why? Because you got people watching you. You have all the friends that you cut off are watching you. Your spouse is watching you. Your children are watching you. Your neighbors, your coworkers, all those eyes are on you. And especially when you got them on, especially when you rocking them fringes, because you already know they got something that they want to say to you. When you put them fringes on, remember, that changed everything. The fringes changed the game. And I told y'all that many times. When you put them fringes on, it is a game changer when you put them fringes on. Because at that point, the blinders are on you, just like this. All eyes are on you. But the only eye that you really need to be concerned about is the one that we read earlier, where the Father said, mine eye is watching you. Okay? All right. So now we're going to go to 1 Peter. The book of 1 Peter, chapter 1 and verse 7. The book of 1 Peter, chapter 1 and verse 7. Let's see what this says here. Let's see if it correlates with everything that we've been talking about so far. that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold. Stop. Now, we just read about that in Ecclesiasticus, didn't we? We just read that about that gold. You see, it doesn't matter where you go in the book repeats itself over and over and over. The book is extremely repetitious. And do you know why this is? Because when you stand in front of the Most High and it's time for judgment, he's going to say, I told you over and over and over and over. Did you read? Or did you just happen to listen to a lesson one day? Did you actually, after the lesson, go and study? Did you study on your own from Saturday to Thursday? Did you study? How are you supposed to know his way if you don't study his way? How are you supposed to be on this path right here versus this one? All right, I'm going to read this one more time. That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. And that's speaking of Yahushai. And do you know why? Because just like we read last week, you are a joint heir to Christ. You're a joint heir. So at the appearing of Christ is actually going to be your appearing as well. Just remember this. The big black Messiah, the big one, the one bigger than all the rest of them. And then here you are as a joint heir to the big brother. All praises to the Most High for that promise. And I tell you this, you could have woke up as Esau this morning. You could have woke up as Moab. You could have woke up as anybody else but you. Whoo, y'all better get the Most High's praise. I'm telling you, you don't got to do it right now, but I'm telling you, throughout the day, throughout the week, you better be giving the Most High's praise. I'm telling you. All right, so now let's go to Isaiah chapter 55. The book of Isaiah chapter 55, and let's go down to verse 8. I want to read 8. All right, Isaiah chapter 55, verse 8. Now, I need y'all to pay very, very close attention. Remember, we talked about this here earlier. Watch this. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. We got to talk about that. Our little measly peon brains we cannot even muster the smallest imagination that the Most High have, we can't deal with. The Father said, my ways are not your ways. Just because you are down there on earth enduring some horrible, horrible things, just like you told us earlier, I made it that way for you. Don't worry about why. My ways are not your ways. Do what I say. And that right there, a lot of our people have a problem doing. You know why? Because our people do not like to follow authority. We have been trained differently. First and foremost, we have been trained in our book. We have been trained to do in our book, mind you. We have been trained to do the opposite of everything that this book tells us to do. And why? Because of Christianity. They have taken bits and pieces and completely contorted those things. They've lied to us. They filled us full of crap. They made us sit in church services for so long as a pastor spoke about his personal experiences from reading one verse in a book. No precepts, no nothing. We have been slaughtered. This is why you have to get in the book. You got to read this here yourself. This is why the Father said, study to show thyself approved. Approved for what? Approved for acceptance into the kingdom versus rejection. And there's going to be a lot of rejected people. A lot. Why? Because as we've been reading all along, the Father said, this is the path right here. This is the path of acceptance. This is the path of rejection. I'm going to start it again. I'm going to start at verse 9. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Verse 10. For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and make it bring forth the bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. Now, I want to make sure y'all understand what this is saying here. The Father is saying that my ways, remember, he's talking about the heavens. And he's saying that the words that's coming out of heaven, which is coming right here from this book, those things right there, everything, it is going to actually sow your ground. And when you sow your ground, the proper rainfall, the proper dew, the proper snow, all those things actually water your garden. And you are going to bloom. You are going to bud. It's going to grow. Your life is bringing existence into your life versus no rainfall over here, no snow, absolutely nothing. What is it? It is barren. It is a barren wasteland on this side, but on this side, there's life. Verse 11. So shall my word that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Do you understand what that just said? The Father made it very, very clear. Just like we've been reading all along, the Father's will be done. He said, if I say it, it is going to happen. If I think it, it is going to happen. It is his will. His will. I want to read this again. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return to me void. Meaning, what he says goes. He is the authority. This is the Most High God of Israel we're talking about. We're not talking about harsh Krishna. We're not talking about white Jesus. We're not talking about Muhammad. We're not talking about any of those people. We're talking about the actual one true God of Israel, the God of us all of us in Israel, and the terrible God to the rest of the nations. All praises to the Father. All praises to the Father. But it shall accomplish that which I please. The Father said, what I say goes. What I say is going to happen. And it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. It's going to happen. He said, well, it doesn't matter where I send my word. When I send my word, the word is going to do exactly what I tell it to do, because the word makes moves. The word is that thing that makes this world go round. The word is life and death. Because remember, death and life is in the power of the tongue. It most certainly is. Okay? That was that. So now I want to stay in Isaiah, but let's go to chapter 41. The book of Isaiah, chapter 41. Let's go down to verse, as a matter of fact, let's go down to verse 10. So far with everything that we've read, right? Everything that we've come across so far. Did the Most High change anything that he said? Did he say, all right, well, forget about that. Let's go ahead. We're going to do this now. No. His word is his word. His word shall stand, and he repeats it over and over and over. All right. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. You got to understand that. The Father's saying that he's with us. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. That is so important. He said, I am your God. Now, this here is in the book of Isaiah, chapter 41. The Father said, I'm your God. I am your God. I am your God. Yours, possessive, meaning you. Not meaning everybody else. Not all the other nations. You. Just like we read earlier today in regards to the Jews, when Christ was talking to the Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. The Father made a promise. I'm going to strengthen you. I'm going to make you strong. I will help thee. The Father says, I will help you. I will assist you in the things that you need. But guess what you have to do? You have to be obedient. You must be obedient. You got to be on this side. You can't be on this broad road. You can't. You got to be on the narrow path. I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. The Father made this clear. He said, I got you. This is the right hand here is your camera left, but my right hand right here. And the Father's like, I got you right here. Nobody can take you out my hand. You are 100% protected. 100. If you don't want that, then go over here. But if you do want it, you're going to stay right here. You see, this is very easy, family. This is a very, very easy, simple thing to do. All we have to do is follow. But the world has taught us to abandon reasoning. The world has taught us that it is me, myself, and I. I'll do what I do. I got to do what's best for me, is what the world teaches. But you know what that statement should say? That statement should say, I need to do exactly what the Father told me to do because that is best for me. And not only best for you, but best for your spouse, best for your children, best for your family, friends, coworkers, relatives, everybody. But not everybody's going to listen, and we know that. Okay? So now I want to go to Isaiah. Stay, like I said, we're going to stay in Isaiah. Go to chapter 45. Let's go over. And I want you to go down to verse 7. The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 7. So let's see what it says right here. Because this here is going to make a lot of sense. Watch this. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. I, the Lord, do all these things. So there's so many of you that never heard that before. You never heard that the Most High is the one that is responsible for evil. So when you have these Israelites that's out there getting gunned down, getting stabbed, getting murked, getting shot, the Father said, I did that. I did that. I allowed that to happen. I created that evil down there. Why? Because that nigga down there ain't listening. They're on that broad path right here. And I got to take them out before they take so many others out as well. As the Father said, his will be done. He does what he wants to do. So when you are going through these things in your life, when you are seeing this evil present itself in front of you, know that's the Most High saying, I am bringing this here to you. Why? Because I know you can take it. And then when you endure, when you pass that test with 100, when you keep your faith completely into the Most High, like, that's my daughter down there. That's my son right there. I told you. Just a couple of weeks ago, we talked about Job. Remember that? We talked about Job. He did the very same thing with Job. Does the very same thing with us. I'm going to read that one more time. I form the light. I create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Because the Most High is in control of everything. Everything. When you think that you are in your deepest, darkest place, when you think that this is the finality for you, when you think that it is all over, the Father said, nigga, ain't nothing over. It's just beginning. It is just beginning. Okay? Now, I want to get a precept to this. I'll go to Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 4, please. The book of Proverbs chapter 16. Let's go down to verse 4. Let's see. Watch this. Watch this here. The Lord hath made all things for himself. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. The Father created the wicked people. The Father is in control of all the wicked that is happening on the planet. And just when you think that the Father has abandoned you, all he's doing is bringing this wicked to you. Why? Because the wicked helps us to grow when we overcome the things, when we overcome their weapons, when we overcome all of the traps, snares that they set for us, and we jump over those hurdles. And what do? We continue to build our bodies. We continue to build our faith. We continue to build our strength when we jump over those wicked hurdles. And the Father's like, I put that in your path so that people can see you jump over it. So that people can see that you can endure all these things that are going on, whether that be death, whether that be financial, what I like to call financial disgrace, when it goes to all those different things. When it goes to some of your children just being unruly, when it goes to your husband, when it goes to your wife, when it goes to anybody. And the Father said, I put that hurdle right there in front of you. Can you endure? Can you deal with it? Oh, I'm leaking. Can you endure? Can you deal with it? That's what the Father's saying. And what he said, I created you for that. I created you. I built you so that you are able to. But if you don't have any faith, then you're right here in this section. I'm telling you, there's no gray area. It's either righteousness or unrighteousness. There's nothing in between. Nothing. Okay? So now, let's go to Ephesians chapter 1. The book of Ephesians chapter 1. Let's go down to verse 11. Let's see what this says right here. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 11. In whom also we have obtained an inheritance, being predestinated according to the purpose of him who worketh all things after the counsel of his own will, just like we read in 2 other verses. The Father says, this is all me. You just got to trust. You see, this is a lesson about faith. 100% straight up faith. Either you got it or you don't. You can't even fake faith, because as soon as that faith is tested, you're going to fail if you don't have it. It is an automatic failure. But just like everything else, you have to build your faith. And this is why the Father puts you in these circumstances, so that your faith on him can be built. So that when anything comes to you, you can submit it to the Father. Remember, the Father already said, cast your cares upon me. What most people don't realize, that is a commandment. And when you don't do that, you are in sin. Christianity is not going to tell you that. The Father made it clear. You got to have faith. Faith without works, dead. I'm telling y'all, man. All right, now let's go back to the Old Testament. Psalms chapter 115. And I love Psalms. I love the book of Psalms. All these words, all these songs, the musical ministry. And for all you musicians out there, I love y'all. I really, really do. I'm telling you, that's a hard hustle. That really, really is. You musicians, I take my hat off to you. I really, really do. All right, let's see what it says. Psalms chapter 115, verse 3. But our God is in the heavens. He have done whatsoever he hath pleased. Again, the Father is going to do what he wants to do. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, does not matter. The Father is going to do what he wants to do. So when he decides to take you and run you through the mill, the question is, when you are ran through that mill, are you going to come out on the other side, or are you going to be grounded up? Are you going to make it out to the other side, or are you going to die in the middle of that process? Which one? Faith. Doubt. Faith. Doubt. There's only two. That's it. There's nothing more. I hear a lot of people say this. I'm on the fence. No, you're not. You're on the other side of the fence. On this side of the fence is life. On that side of the fence is death. You got to choose. You must choose. And as we've been reading this here, all of your faith has to be there. If the Father was to tell you, and he never will, but if he was to ever tell you, take your finger and dip it in that dung right there and put it in your mouth and taste it. If the Father told you to do that, do it. If the Father told you to. And I'm giving that extreme example because somebody just doesn't get it. They don't understand. But they understand things like that. Okay? So now let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31. Let's go down to verse 6. Let's see what this says. And I need y'all to understand this. I really, really, really want you to understand. I want you to feel what this is getting ready to tell us. These are instructions. You understand? These are instructions. So what are instructions? These are commandments. I'm getting ready to read you commandments that's not a part of the 10. Be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. The Father made it clear, I'm with you. I got you. I'm right here. All you got to do is do what I tell you. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter in the darkness. It doesn't matter in the light. You can be at the bottom of the ocean. The Father said, I'm right here with you. I'm right here. Don't worry about it. I am the creator of life. I gave you life and I can also take it. So if I gave you life, that means I can allow you to keep it. Just listen to me. Faith. Don't be like the idiot over here with the doubt. The faith right here. Stay here. And he told us over and over and over. Now let's go to, stay in Deuteronomy. Go to chapter 20. Deuteronomy chapter 20. Let's go down to verse 4. And let's see if he says this again. Watch this. For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. I'm going to read that one more time. For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you. The Father is right there with you. Right there. Right there. To fight for you against your enemies. You don't have to lift a hand. The Father says, I got you. I'm God. Nobody can beat God. Nobody. Nobody can beat the Most High. No one. You have the forever champion that can't be beat right by your side, and yet we still fear. For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. You will have people that just still won't believe. All these promises, all the prophecies that's coming to life right now as we speak. And still, so many people still have doubt. All right, now let's go back to Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 31. The book of Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. Let's see what it says. The book of Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Do you see that promise? Those who wait on the Most High. That's not talking about back then. That's talking about in these days today. We're in the end. We're in the end. Where's your strength? What side of the fence are you on? Nobody can determine that but you. You are the only person that can make that decision for yourself, because when you stand in front of the Most High, remember, there is a judgment that you have to endure. Every knee will bow and everybody's going to stand in front of the Most High, either to receive a reward for your righteousness or receive a punishment for your disobedience. Life on this side right here, life. On this side right here, death. You choose. All right. So now let's go to 1 Peter chapter 5. The book of 1 Peter chapter 5. Let's go down to verse 7. This is an instruction. This is a commandment. casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. You see what the Father said? He said, take all of your cares, all your problems, give it to him. Don't deal with it by yourself. Give it to him. He says, I got you. I got you. But so much doubt on this side. You have so much doubt coming from so many people. And believe it or not, remember the devices of a man's heart, as we read earlier, they are very convincing. Very, very convincing. And you have a lot of them people that can pull you right away. Some people, they snatch them out the truth. Oh, that's BS. Oh, you can't be you listening to them niggas. You listening to them old racist, terrorist ass niggas. They say it all the time. Oh, Lord. And don't get Esau involved. Woo! With Esau, Esau coming with the guns. Them damn Israelites, a bunch of racists. We ain't no damn racists. We reading what the book says. There ain't no racism involved. The only ones out there that are racist is they asses. They're the racists. But yet they'll run their mouths. And a lot of our people sit there and listen to it. Snatch them right out the truth. You know why? They have no faith. None whatsoever. Which now brings me to these two bad boys right here. All right, so you got one, you got two. Right? Looks identical, right? Everything looks the same. We're going to start with this one right here. We're going to start with him. So what are we going to do with him? You're going to take him. You're going to fill him up. Let's see what happens. All right. We're going to take this one. We're filling this baby all the way up. And I'm going to show you that's going all the way to the top. All the way to the top. Hopefully we can get this thing to overflow because I want it to. I want it to overflow so you can see. All right. So you can see that. All right. There it is. You can see it's coming out. There we go. Right. You see this. But what's up with this one right here? Besides the water that I just leaked out from the top, is there anything coming out of here? You know what this is? This is a vessel. This vessel right here represents those who are in the truth and will not waver. They won't waver. They believe the Most High. They follow the Most High. They do what he says. This vessel right here is whole. This vessel is whole. Everything. So consider that water to be these words that we just read here tonight. There's a vessel that actually retains that. The strong, the powerful, those who have accepted their strength, those that do not deny the Most High at all. They don't deny him. They agree with everything that he said and they follow. They do. They are commandment keepers. That's this vessel right here. I'm gonna sit him down. Then we have this vessel. All right, so hold on a second. We got this one, right? As y'all say, I came prepared. All right, hold on. I gotta make sure we get all this here on here. Let's get it on there. Oh boy. Uh-oh, what's happening? I know I'm making a mess. What's happening? This is light. This is light as hell. Why? Here we are, pouring this word into this vessel, right? It can't hold it. It's weak. Absolutely weak. It can't take it. This is what the majority of the world is right here. This is what the world is. This right here. You bring the word to them, bow. Is this you? Is this you? Versus this one right here. This one has all the weight in the world in it. This retained nothing. Leaking. Dripping. Worthless. This one right here is absolutely worthless. And do you know why? Because it retains nothing. It doesn't retain anything. Absolutely worthless. And so now you have to ask yourself, now that you see that demonstration between the two, which one are you? When the water of the washing of the word is put into you, which one will you be? That one there, I'm not even going to pick it up because the worthless is dead. It's over. It's finished. It's done. Don't be that one there. Don't be that one. Be this one. Be the one there that retains the word. Be that one there that will listen to when the word comes out and apply everything that the Most High says. Why? Because this one is full of life. This water is life. Nothing retained in that one right there. So now, with that being said, family, I want you to think about that. I seriously want you to keep that visual in your mind as to which one you are. Whenever you hear this word, whenever you get into a situation, you go back to these scriptures and you retain what the Father said. And then you have to decide ultimately for yourself. Are you on the pathway to righteousness? Or are you on the road to destruction? And with that being said, Israel, I love you. I'm out.